Hi, my name is Will. Welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to a West Auckland band called Melanie. How are you?
Kia ora, good.
Lovely.
I thought maybe we could start with the introductions. Maybe we'll start with Joe, eh?
Hey, my name's Joe. I'm the drummer of Melanie.
I'm Robin. I play guitar.
I'm James. I play guitar and sing.
I'm also Will, and I play bass.
Will, the bassist. Cool. Before we get into the history of the band, I actually thought about another question, and that's about the name. What's the idea behind the name of your band?
I suppose it kind of comes as part of the history.
Yeah, I guess that's double whammy. I guess so. The band first formed my 19th birthday party. Wanted to have a band play, and we James, our original drummer D, and I were studying at SAE. So I was like, sweet, we're all musicians. Let's play some pop punk party songs, whatever. So did that, and we got Jordan Few, our other mates, to play guitar. And then that night we covered Stacey's Mum for a fun song, and our mate Max was at the party, and his mum is called Melanie, and we changed the lyrics to Max's mum, and everyone was singing Max's mum, and
Has got it going on.
yeah,
It's all that I want.
Melanie has it going
has
on. She really does.
Yeah,
and that's where that's the name.
But she's lovely. She takes good care of us.
yeah.
Oh,
She's a
lovely lady.
great woman.
What about the actual formation of the band, and how long have you guys been around?
2017. It was late 2017 when it was Robin's birthday.
That was October, but then we actually properly formed. We had to write songs for a gig that we got asked to play in January.
Yeah, it was
February.
it was January 2018, and we put it off. We opened for Looking Up.
Yeah.
Little White Band.
And that was Will jumped in replacing Jordan, so I was playing guitar.
Yeah. So I was the second bassist that came in, and Jordan.
But pretty much what had happened was that we got booked for this gig, and we were meant to write a bunch of songs. We had none. And it got to about 2 weeks before the show, and we were like, shit, we haven't practiced yet. So pretty much we just set up in Will and I's mum's garage in Riverhead, and wrote 5 originals and learned a couple of covers and played the show.
Those originals, I suspect, because that was around 2018, they would have become the Melanie P, right?
Yeah.
It's the Melanie P.
Yeah.
Right. Since you guys sort of formed in 2017 and you already had an EP by mid 2018, I presume that you must have done all that work yourself, because getting into a studio and doing all that stuff in that space of time would have been impossible.
It was all recorded in one day.
Yeah, one day. We were all still at SAE. So we were lucky to have. It's the only project of ours to actually be studio recorded.
Yeah. Studio recorded. It's absolutely not a great studio.
We've gotten a lot better results not recording a studio. But we recorded it all in about I think it took us 9 hours to record the whole thing.
Pretty hard. How long are your songs on average then? They must be quite short if you can get everything banged out in 9 hours.
Those ones were a bit longer than our
current ones.
Yeah.
I think we had a couple of 5-minute long songs, and those ones were all kind of between 3.5 to 5 minutes.
We're all set up. It was one band recording, like a live recording.
Okay.
Right. Tracking.
Right.
So that bedded up a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So that you can keep your ear out and hear the mistake. So
yeah. There was a few times where we got through 10 takes, and we were like, nah, that's
good enough.
We got about an hour, and we got to spend an hour packing down.
Yeah.
It's like we got to plug it by it.
On the subject of releases, you had the Melanie P, the 5-track from April 2018. Then you did a 10-track album that even managed to be released on vinyl called 42 Losers. When was that released? 2020?
Yeah, it was 2020. Level 4 in 2020.
I said 2020, funny. 2020. And then, of course, you just released the ABCD, which is another 4-track EP in January. That was January the 26th, 2022. So that's pretty fresh. And I guess that's why we're talking today. So would you like to tell me a little bit about the production of that album or that EP?
Yeah, so we were all kind of flatting together in Glendine. And so we were able to just, track it. We got a little band room all set up with some equipment all funded by the band. And we mixed all ourselves, mastered by our old drummer, D. Stevens, who is also a mastering engineer.
Very talented.
Yeah, put together a couple of music videos, and yeah, we released it in January.
How's the response been for that EP? Because of course, at the moment, due to the COVID lockdowns, bands can't really go out and sort of promote and sort of push their stuff like they have in the past. So how's the response been?
We've only been able to play one show since the release, and it was a sit-down, distanced gig. So
They're weird, eh?
It's
weird.
super weird.
It's kind of like playing at the Return Services Association or something, you know? All these people sitting down, evenly spaced. It's odd.
It's the second time we've done that, and it's just there's no atmosphere in the show. But I think the response we've gotten online has been pretty positive. A lot of people saying really nice things.
We've been like very active like since we started, and so like we've been able to like get a lot of like ears like on us, and like 42 Losers like definitely helps like hugely. So like
like in comparison to 42 Losers, that 42 Losers was like a big boost. A lot of people discovered us through that release, and then this one was kind of just helped reinforce, and we gained, new people saw it, but we released it to a fan base, whereas 42 Losers there was not really a fan base.
We didn't really have much of a...
So will you actually be doing a tour to support the release of ABCD? I suppose like now, of course, it's difficult to say, but I guess ultimately you want to, right?
We had a big release show booked for a couple of days after the release, but that got canned due to red light. And we had a couple tours kind of in the pipeline, but obviously due to red light, we decided to postpone those kind of indefinitely until the restrictions ease up a little bit more. But yeah, we're really keen to kind of get down South Island. We've done a few shows out of Auckland, but we're super keen to kind of meet some of our fans that in the South Island and Wellington as well.
So since you won't be doing the sort of the ABCD tour for a while, I was wondering what's your take on the current COVID situation and how bands adapted, or how do you think bands have adapted to it?
I think it's been quite difficult for like high energy rock and punk bands like us to actually play shows in a similar format or way that we're used to doing it. I feel like we've done it a couple of times now where it's the vibe's been off.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of atmosphere and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like some bands are kind of doing acoustic shows and kind of adapting to this new way of performing, in front of a sat down audience where no one's like beating the shit out of each other or jumping around and dancing. It's difficult to kind of convey that same energy.
That is one of the upsides of being a smaller band, like the bands I'm in, the band you're in, etc. First of all, it's not your actual occupation, so it doesn't cripple you immediately. And secondly, like most of your gigs are not so big that like a 100 cap, for example, is a major inconvenience. I mean, you can probably just get away with 100 people coming along to a show. It's not undoable. So whereas if you were, I don't know, 660, let's say, band I pick out of the air, like
Spark Arena, it's so much space.
Yeah, playing to us like just 100 people is kind of a waste of their time.
I suppose the problem is that a lot of the venues we play at, the actual kind of space of the area isn't really big enough for 100 people if they're all seated in distance. So we can usually fit in maybe like 30 or 40.
The worry is also, will the venues be around to survive the red light?
Exactly.
Because they don't actually have an income this time around. There's no wage subsidy or anything, and some of them are staying open to support their employees, but they're not actually, they're just burning through their money. So it's difficult and it's stressful to think about, like, the future of the music industry, especially for grassroots venues.
Back during the sort of the initial waves of lockdowns a couple of years ago, Valhalla in Wellington was sort of struggling through that, and what they did was they did like a GoFundMe thing where people around the country could buy like a virtual bar tab, donate $50, $100, whatever you could manage, and that would go into the little book as being sort of a credit. And because it's open when I go there, it's sort of like it's back to normal. They can kind of suffer that little loss at that time because there's other people drinking who don't have the bar tab. So I think it's a good idea if a bunch of New Zealand bars try that and keep a virtual bar tab that they can use at a later date.
Yeah, that's great.
And that might keep them afloat for a couple of months.
Yeah, get creative.
Yeah, there were a couple GoFundMes I remember seeing for Auckland
Wow,
venues.
yeah.
But I don't know if there's like a bar tab one. That's cool.
Genius. That's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could either just straight out donate, or
Definitely.
if you weren't flush enough to do that, you could at least like sort of like put a down payment on some alcohol for later.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess we're almost out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the interview?
Yeah, find us on Instagram at Melanie for fun, Melanie.for.fun. We've got we're gonna start organizing our New Zealand tour ASAP. As soon as all these restrictions start to open up, we can actually bring the music to you guys. Big shout out to Jordan Few for doing all of our music videos and everything for the release. They're all on our YouTube channel. You can find that in our link tree on Instagram as well. Thanks to Mum.
Shout out
to
Mum.
for funding our vinyl and all that, and helping.
Good old Mum, eh? It was Mum, was it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, she fucking just like did it.
well, she wanted us to do it. She was just like, I want you to have vinyl. I'll pay for half of it if you just fucking do it. So we
Awesome.
did it. EP's out. Listen to that on Spotify. Listen to 42 Losers. Don't listen to the Melanie EP.
And we've got LPs if you like 42 Losers.
They're in JB Hi-Fi.
Yep.
Right now, actually.
These boys.
Oh,
Get
whoa,
it.
we're right there.
Ooh.
They look just like that.
Well, thanks very much for having a chat with me tonight, and all the best with the tour when it happens. And
Well, thanks for having us.
cool. Thanks. See ya.
Awesome. Thanks,
Cheers.
bro.
And thanks for
Bye.
watching. See ya.